What's up, guys? Back to work on the Porsche here. Probably going to start working on this big rusty, they call it the suspension pan, if you're not familiar with Porsches. I did a little bit of cutting on the area where I said the patch panels were going to be that I ordered, just to kind of see what it's looking like underneath. But we'll probably do a little bit of work because we got some junk under there. Gonna cut that out, OSFO everything inside, and then weld in plates to go underneath the patch panels that I'm making. I need to buy a sprayer for the OSFO because OSFO kills the little cheap sprayers that you buy. And I just want to spray basically everywhere that the sandblaster couldn't get. I'm going to spray with OSFO, which is a rust inhibitor or something of the sort. This stuff, Skyco, OSFO, that's backwards, but stops rust, prepares rusted surfaces for painting. It's good stuff. It actually converts the rust to something else. So we're going to spray that everywhere and then start welding up some more patch panels. I'm not going to bore you guys too much with rust repair because it's really boring. And we'll probably do some mock-up as well. I think I'm going to mock up the brake booster and brake master so I could start redoing the brake lines. Right now, I have these factory ones, which are kind of ugly. But I have some stainless line that I'm going to run. And then also going to run stainless lines for the fuel lines. We might do that today as well. So let's get to it. So as you can see, this whole area is rusted out. So that's the layer that I cut out, which is probably the best condition. Just had a little bit of rust there, but that rust caused rust here. And then this rust probably caused the rust that's here. This is all lead, so I'm gonna have to melt that away. I'm not totally sure of the best technique for that. So I'm gonna look that up a little bit. And then we got 4 different panels to make in this area. I got this panel on this side of the pinch weld, this panel on this side of the pinch weld, this upper dash part, which I'll probably do in a couple of pieces. I'll probably get the curve area, maybe a little one right there, and then one there. And then also this panel, which is flat and then has a slight bend onto the inside of this channel. And then this part of the dash. So more than 4. I don't know how many that was, but that was like a million. That's what it feels like. And then this is part of the sunroof drain tube, which I'm just going to completely get rid of. I'm not totally sure how, but look at Corey's dog creeping on me. But yeah, not totally sure how I'm going to get rid of it. Probably just grind it away because, it's pretty rusted out. And here it is as well. Obviously, I can't really get rid of it up here. But, I'll just pour some OSFO down that hole and let it do its job. Luckily, we're not looking at too much rust right here, which means I would assume that this whole area is pretty much fine. The parts that I'm going to be spraying with OSFO are, these areas in here, all those cracks that the sandblaster wasn't able to get to. And then, the back sides of this and this, all that stuff. Anywhere that I think the sandblaster didn't get to, just because it can't hurt. Same thing with up there. So I got that piece chopped away. This is what I'm working with currently. It is nasty under here. This line is the side that I'm going to be replacing, but this stuff right here also needs repaired. And then I'm also going to cut this whole pinch weld area off up to there. And then I started getting this piece off, and it is nasty under there. Same thing. I need to replace this metal or cut it out or do something. And then this line, which goes right there, gets replaced. I do have a decent bit, and I'm probably not going to use all of it. I think I'm going to come to maybe, you know, somewhere in this area, just because it seems pretty solid behind there. And then in these frame rails, they don't look too bad in there, but I'll probably spray some OSPO just to prevent any further rust from coming in through the backside, because that's a bad time. Also, when Corn and I were cleaning out all the dust, which still is plenty of sand from the sandblasting, we discovered this, which that is a piece of a newspaper, which was in here, along with in one of the rear frame rails. And that is signs of a rat's nest. So there was actually rats living in the frame rails. So hopefully when I cut this open, I don't find a dead rat like I found in that. Because I found a rat carcass right there. It was gross. Hopefully I don't find one here though. So here's a little something I whipped up. I'll show you the old, this is attempt number 1. I got some measurements incorrect on the CAD file, so I just needed to shift this guy over a little bit. But it's 3/16 here, 1/8 inch here, and it is a bracket for this Willwood slave cylinder. This is the factory clutch fork. Usually the clutch slave bolts to there, and then it pushes on that. But because of the big cross member goes right somewhere really close to here, I didn't want to have to cut even more stuff to fit a slave cylinder here. So instead I made this bracket and got this Willwood setup in there, and it worked out pretty nice. Hello, hello.
He pooped.
Boop. Anyways, I got this in there, and it looks pretty slick. So I'm going to turn a little aluminum spacer for this on my lathe, and then it's good to go for now. I'm dropping a couple parts off tomorrow to get powder coated, so I'll probably drop that off and just get that powder coated black. It's either that or zinc plated. I'm not totally sure. I'll figure that out by tomorrow. So yeah, I can't really test it out, but it has clearance, enough clearance, and then this whole apparatus, this whole end gets pulled forward, and hopefully it's strong enough. There might be maybe just a little bit of play. I'm not totally sure, but I can always brace it to somewhere else or just make the part stronger later if I feel it's necessary. So we'll see. All right, so dropping all this off at powder coating now. This is not mine. This is for a customer's Mustang, but those and those as well, all getting powder coated. So we'll get these back in a couple days probably. Well then, I was trying to use those to cut here because I can't get to it with an angle grinder, but that didn't work. So now I got to figure out something else. I need to cut this without cutting this because that's just unnecessary welding. But I may just have to do that because that might be my only option. So today I stopped by GT Racing in Colorado Springs. Check these guys out. They make a bunch of sweet fiberglass parts for Porsches. So I got the dash, and then I got my front fenders, which are beautiful. Very well built. He was telling me how to go about installing the headlight rings to make them fit perfectly. And then, yeah, the overall quality of it's great. So I'm going to get those installed sometime soon. I need to still fix a bunch of rust and stuff, so I'm in no hurry, even though I should be. And here is a couple of the patches welded in. Got one there, one there. typically this was 2 different pieces, but that's just something they use for manufacturing purposes, so they can weld this pinch weld here. So I just made it 1 piece, doesn't really matter. That piece right there, which is also going to get spot welded in there. So I still need to make this piece and weld in this piece. And then we got a hole here. Gonna do something about this and this. And I think that covers this area. So now I've gotten a few more of the patches done, quite a few. You can see this one's in 2 pieces, which is just because I made this piece and it was just a little bit short. So I just cut it back a little bit further, made another patch and filled it in. That's gonna get all ground down so you won't even be able to notice. Been working on this section, which is the suspension pan. Got that all fitted up nicely. I'm not going to be showing you a lot of this because it's really boring and redundant and repetitive. Oh, and then also, I got my fender fitted up. Beautiful. Just sort of poorly held in place for now. But I will be doing an entire video of installing these. So, little nick right there. I dropped them, so don't do that. That's bad. Then I started cutting out stuff in there. So that used to be a piece which is somewhere. It's missing. Oh, here it is. So that used to be this thing, which is kind of a vent inlet for the AC. So I'm getting rid of that just because there was rust all around it and it's a lot simpler and I don't need it. I will patch that and then just put holes to let wires run into there and whatnot for the battery. Oh God, I just dropped my phone. Let wires run in there for the battery and whatever else, wiring harness stuff. That is where the steering column goes, so that's obviously got to stay. Then rust hole, rust there, rust everywhere. Terrible stuff. And that's all for this video. I'm not going to be showing you most of the rust repair that I do because it'll get really boring. I spend a ton of time doing it, and it'll be easier for me if I don't have to video it, and it'll be easier for you because you don't have to watch me do rust repair. But if you subscribe, tomorrow my dad will be in town, and he's going to be helping me do some fiberglass work on the roof and on the rear wide body stuff, and maybe some other stuff that we're going to do. So stay tuned.